All right, Donald Trump is taking a victory lap on what he calls a growing support amid his handling of the Epstein files. The president took to Truth Social to brag about his poll numbers within the Republican Party, saying they've gone up significantly despite what he falsely calls the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. Of course, there's just one problem with all that: facts. His poll numbers are cratering with everyone else. A new CBS YouGov poll shows Trump's approval rating has fallen to 42%, with 58% disapproving of his performance. And speaking of Epstein, that same poll shows Republicans almost evenly split on Trump's handling of the case. Michael Cohen is still with us, and we should note you joined Trump's orbit in 2005 after his falling out with Jeffrey Epstein. What can you speak about your time with Donald Trump as it relates to Jeffrey Epstein, if at all?
So actually, I fell into Trump's orbit around 2005, but I became part of the Trump organization as the executive vice president and special counsel in 2007. From the time that I started to the time that I finished in 2018, I actually never heard him mention Jeffrey Epstein at all. I never saw Jeffrey Epstein in the office when I was one of the 10,000 hours in Trump's office doing work with him. I never heard Jeffrey Epstein on the phone or even call into the office. There was no relationship from the time that I started at the org to the time that I left.
And so how do you then, when you kind of look at what is transpiring now and the way he's handling it, what do you make of the way he's handling it, the reason why this scandal, if you will, this controversy, this individual has captivated so much attention and raised a lot of serious, legitimate questions?
Sure, because that's what they campaigned on. That's what he sold to his MAGA base. He was going to release the Epstein files. He was going to release the Martin Luther King files. He was going to release the John F. Kennedy files. He chose not to. It's a mistake. He should have just released the full file, because by not doing that, all it does is create these conspiracy theories. Oh, he must be guilty of something. And that's why this ridiculous nonsense, I wrote about it again in my Substack this morning, this ridiculous nonsense about the birthday card letter, which is now part of this $10 billion lawsuit. It's the most ridiculous thing.
You really think that reporting is ridiculous?
Yeah, I think the whole thing is absolutely ridiculous. There's no reason why that should be front page news when we have so many more important things that affect Americans, like 17 million Americans.
But doesn't it give us an additional layer of insight into his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, his one-time friendship? Of course, ended up having a falling out before you came into the picture here. But I don't think that it's a nothing burger.
Yeah, I wouldn't put that on the front page.
You send birthday cards to people you don't have a relationship with?
Well, I have people who will write me all the time and say, hey, can you sign this, for me, and so on, simply because you're who you are. Now, I'm not going to claim for a second that Donald didn't know Jeffrey Epstein. Right. Obviously, he did.
We've got pictures.
Forget about video. There's hundreds of 100 pictures between the two of them. The question that I would say is, does this picture that's drawn, even assuming he did it, is it criminal nature? What does it actually show? And the answer is nothing. And if he didn't do it, all he did is he gave the Wall Street Journal a baseball bat, in terms of a lawsuit.
If it's a true card, and again, we have NBC and us, we haven't independently verified it, but if it's a true statement, what was written on the card, I think
it's a weird card.
It's a weird card. It's a body card.
I'm not going to argue with you on that. It is a weird card.
Right. That's why I'm saying,
criminal.
I don't want to misquote it, but I think there was references to our secrets, and you're kind of like me, and it takes one to know.
No, every day is a secret.
Special secret.
A special secret. I'm not even sure what that means.
Right.
But even assuming he did it, and I can tell you, here's another thing. From the time I started and 2005, when I met him, all the way to when I left, I've never seen Donald Trump doodle. He's not a doodler. That I can tell you for certain.
Yeah, well, he tried to dismiss that, but then people brought out pictures that he's.
The Washington Post said a whole thing about
yes, but he didn't do those. He didn't do those either. Those were done by his executive assistants.
So you're saying he sent fake doodles to charities?
Yes, he had them done, and then he put his name onto it.
Michael Cohen's breaking a lot of news tonight.
Let me be very clear. Donald Trump's not an artist. He doesn't draw. He doesn't doodle. And I can tell you one thing for certain. I think we'll all acknowledge that. The language that's
here's the
used
thing.
I'm
in
going to
that
disagree
letter.
with you because we all remember when he was in the Oval Office drawing the hurricane in Alabama.
He
You remember?
didn't
Did he use a
draw-
Sharpie for that?
The
Didn't he use a
Sharpie.
He
Sharpie
didn't
for it?
draw.
He didn't even draw that?
He didn't draw.
Michael.
No, what he did is he took it and he moved the hurricane to the left, right? Because you can do that with a Sharpie. That's not the
Okay, but
point.
here's
And
the
by the way,
thing.
the language. You have to acknowledge it does not sound like Donald Trump at all. Now, people say, oh, my God, that was Donald of the past. Donald is exactly the same today as he was when he was 20 years old, the same probably that he was when he was 10 years old. He doesn't change. He's the exact same person. It's not his language. When was the last
But
time you
here's
heard
the
Donald
thing,
Trump use the
though.
word enigma?
Fair enough. I don't know. But the thing is, he clearly thinks this is important because he filed a defamation lawsuit seeking $10 billion in damages in Florida, clearly hoping he gets like Judge Eileen Cannon down there. So, I mean, there are plenty of things people say about Trump every single day. He isn't going after them for $10 billion in damages. This has spooked him. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah,
So-
don't forget, he sued me for $500 million in the same court in Miami. I believe, and I believe it wholeheartedly, that Wall Street Journal, Rupert Murdoch, will ultimately settle
Why?
with Trump. I believe they'll do the same thing that ABC did, the same thing CBS did. They'll make a donation to his presidential library because it's in their best interest. Because say whatever you want, he's still the president of the United States.
But
They
attorneys
still
say they
want
think
the
they'd win.
access.
Like
What's that?
most of the experts and attorneys that our team that we've spoken to in recent days, they don't think he really has a case here.
Yeah.
So why would they settle?
And he didn't have a case against CBS
They
either.
said the same thing with ABC and CBS because it's in their best interest. When you start to see advertisers pull away, when you lose the access to the White House, to the Oval Office, to the briefing room, to the Air Force One, they're going to turn around and they're going to realize, you know what? I don't know, maybe a $10 million or $15 million tax-deductible donation to his presidential library is in their best interest. You can't beat the president, especially not one who's willing to use the Department of Justice as he does.
It's Sunday night. It's 8:22 p.m. The President of the United States just posted on True Social. We're not going to show it, but it's an AI-generated video of him sitting with former President Obama in the White House where he gets
boy.
arrested. Former President Obama gets arrested while Trump looks on. And then you see a video cut of President Obama sitting in a jail cell. Again, this is what the President of the United States is tweeting or posting on a Sunday night of a former president. And all of this was to the YMCA song. And it makes you wonder, again, you're talking about cognitive decline. And I'm thinking, like, that is not, you could say that that's what he's always done. But that is not the sane behavior of a rational human being, certainly the President of the United States on a Sunday night.
With all due respect, I have a video in my phone from 2011, 2012, when we hired a fake Obama to sit in the office, and we videotaped it of Trump yelling at him for birtherism and other sort of things. So is this unusual? It's unusual for a president to do something like this, but is it unusual for Donald?
Yeah.
No. He
And
has an anger
Obama
and a
lives
hatred
rent-free.
to-
He lives rent-free in Trump's head.
Many people do.
He's obsessed with former President Obama.
Yeah, many people
Why?
live in. He despises him because he made fun of him at the Washington Correspondents' Dinner, because maybe he went to Harvard Law, maybe because people actually liked Obama. He had great favorability ratings. So what do? I don't know. Maybe you squish down the guy who has such high favorabilities because you want it for
He's got
yourself.
Is the video just a big joke and a
him, it's a
distraction on
joke.
True Social? Or, well, this is a person who, I mean, we just talked about how you said he's been successful in kind of shaking newsrooms down, in exhausting people to the point where they're willing to just, I mean, in a past segment, we talked about what's happening now to James Comey and Brennan.
Yeah.
So is there some
And you got to
threat
wonder
here?
whether or not whether it incites something. I mean, his followers out there can see this, and there
trust
have been incidents where people showed up to the former president's house. I don't like that the current president is posting a video of a former president in jail and being arrested.
Right.
in the White
I know
House.
he didn't like it when they were doing it to him. That certainly bothered. So again, in a rational way, you say, well, why would they then do it to somebody else?
Exactly.
He thinks it's funny.
Well, Michael Cohen, Thank you, as
Good to
always.
see you.
As always.
We'll check in.
Never-
on you.
never a
Trust me,
dull time when
by
you're
the way,
on set.
trust me, you're going to see my prediction again is going to come true.
Keep bringing your predictions to us first.
Yes.
That's all I have
It
to ask.
was you first.
Yes,
Yes,
it
it
was.
was.
And
Yeah.
let's keep it going. Okay,